Hi everybody, this is Leif of Spark Interaction, and today we're going to be talking about creative leadership. But before we do, and hopefully you can hear me fine because my neighbor started to mow their lawn right as I started to do this. Before we do, I wanted just to do a quick little review of some of the topics we've been looking at. We've been talking about the power of play formation, where you let yourself be transformed by a spirit of play, not la 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 play, but just sort of a more open-minded, exploratory, agile, adaptive way of thinking and being in the world, less protected by your ego, not taking yourself too seriously, open to laughing at yourself and being humble and being human. We've talked about different attitudes that can help you towards your relationship to the past in terms of that concept of composting the crap and realizing that the bad shit in your life can actually produce good things. And we talked about the future and how many of us tend to be worried and think about what's going to go wrong and what instead might go right. What would happen if you actually had a pronoia attitude, trusting that the universe and somehow, in some way, is conspiring to bless you, or at the very least that you and your own co-creative powers can work with life to bring good things out of the difficult things in your life or whatever may come. We talked also about your magic. It's one of the main themes is this idea of magic, that sort of that juicy thing. You hear the people use the word passion. We also talk about people's strengths and their skills, but I threw a little loop in there and talked about our weaknesses and how that's part of your story. That's part of your magic, is being able to bring your vulnerability and bring just your whole self into what you share with other people so you can have that connection. And so now we're talking about leadership. We're talking about creative leadership. And in any time in history, of course, everybody probably says that, right? This is the biggest time. This is the crossroads in history. But it really does feel like we're in a time right now where, as we're becoming one global community or not, and as technological change is so radical in terms of the impact that it can have in our environment, on what it means to be human, on whether we're going to stay on this planet or go elsewhere, on our evolution, so many different things, that it's really a time for people like yourself to say, what kind of game do I want to play? You know, and it's not bad or good, whatever you decide. Even if you decide you want to just kick back on your porch and smoke a cigarette the rest of your life, and that feels good to your heart, bless you in that. Bless every person for whatever choices they make, as long as it's aligned with who you really are and what your heart's calling you to be. So that's what leadership is. Leadership is you actually first following yourself, taking the lead of yourself. Those things that you wish other people were doing in the world and the things that we're tempted to whine and be critical and judge people about, that's because something in us is saying you need to start showing up in that way. You need to bring your unique, constructive, creative magic to help this world be a better place. It's not easy to do. Some of us can do it on our own. That's sort of the American cowboy model, but I don't think it tends to last. I think we're at a time where we need community. So hopefully you have some friends, some family members, maybe some coworkers or a team member. Maybe you're working with a coach or you're in some kind of program. Speaking of which, while we're still trying to figure out the final name for the program, you probably saw on the sparkguy.com website that we have a program that is currently being called Game Changers, might be ending up called Ignite, it might end up being called The Magic of Leadership, but basically it's about helping people to look at their insides and to really get aligned and with what your truest magic is. The second part is about finding a platform for you to deliver that magic in the world, whether that's a business or whether that's an existing job somewhere or whether that's you just doing that in your volunteer service. And then the third part is about becoming a more powerful, magic, effective leader, someone who's really using the latest tools and technologies to engage people and to help them to not just hear ideas. We have tons of ideas out there, right? We need play formation. We need to engage with the ideas. So how can you become a person who helps people to actually play with the ideas that you have, to digest them, to integrate them, to exercise them? Because that's where real change comes about. So I want to help you with that. We're launching that program this fall, so contact me directly. Go to the Game Changers tab on this site, or fill out the Money, Magic, and Mission survey down below. And I look forward to, first of all, thank you for giving me your time and attention this last week. For those of you that filled out the life and creativity wheels, those of you that filled out the surveys or connected with me on the Facebook page, thank you very much. And thank you last of all to Alex, who is the designer of this Real Life Change app, for helping me and many other people to become more aware of what is having a positive impact or not on our lives through this incredible app. Look forward to connecting with you some more soon.